Good evening, and welcome to this Interfaith Jazz Vespers service hosted by the Brea Congregational UCC and the Congregational Church of Fullerton. I'm Chrissy Siva. I'm the pastor of the Fullerton congregation. We gather tonight to do something new for us, a Vespers service. Vespers simply means a time of prayer held in the evening. While we use the word Vespers or prayer, we want this to be a space and a service that is open to people of all faiths and those who don't hold to any particular religion or faith tradition. A space that is open and welcoming to all. A space to feed your spirit. We gather in the evening for this space of reflection because this is a unique time of day that holds both the light and the dark. It's a transitional time on the threshold between day and night. Some might call this a holy time because this time of day is so liminal. It holds both light and shadow and can reveal things within us and in the world that we cannot see fully in the light of day or fully in the darkness of night. There's a particular energy of this time of day that is different than the morning time as we prepare to close the day and move into rest. We enter this time to reflect and to let go, and to receive the particular blessing of this time of day, And on this cold and rainy January evening, our theme, which is very fitting, is winter. I'm so pleased to welcome today our incredible musical team who will guide us through this theme of winter and this time of reflection. We have the Koybayashi trio, which includes Baba Elefante, Steve Dixon, and of course, Koybayashi. And our vocalist tonight is Angelica Rowell. We have created this jazz event with a vision of celebrating and using the particular gifts of our communities for building more justice and equity in the world, a sort of jazz and justice effort. Tonight, that justice effort is to support Pathways of Hope. You can read a bit about Pathways on the back of your order of service here. Pathways works to provide food, shelter, and housing to those experiencing hunger and homelessness in Orange County. If you brought donations for their food pantry, you can place them in the large wooden box out there in the narthex, which is the lobby when you come in. And we have 2 plates in the narthex also. One for financial gifts directly to Pathways of Hope, or if you brought gift cards for them. The other is for financial gifts to support this Jazz Vespers ministry. One other option for donation, if you are the type of person who doesn't have cash or checks on you, is to donate directly to Pathways of Hope through their website, which is listed on the back of your bulletin here. It's pohoc.org. If you choose to donate online, we would love for you to make a note that the gift is in honor of Jazz Vespers or put the name of one of our churches. Together, we can do so much to share love and create more justice in the world. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us in this new thing that we are doing, and for your contributions toward the work of justice in the world. As we enter this space of holiness and reflection, I invite you to hear these words from the Reverend Anna Bladell from Infleshed. Darling one, you precious mess, you exhausted, grieving, hollowed, hallowed, hallelujah of a human. Today, if even for a moment, may you feel your own beating heart, your own courageous spirit, your chest rising and falling with breath, which is spirit, which is life force, keeping pulse, marking time, finding space. Regardless of how you are feeling, no matter what you are capable of or not, and just for a moment, may you find rest, a bit of ease, held in that sacred rhythm that cannot be without you, because you precious mess, have breath and heart and life force pulsing through you yet.
The falling leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves the summer kisses, the sunburnt hands I used to hold. Since you went away, all the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Start to fall.
We have two winter poems tonight. Winter Solstice Chant by Annie Finch. Vines, leaves, roots of darkness growing, now you are uncurled and cover our eyes with the edge of winter sky, leaning over us in icy stars. Vines, leaves, roots of darkness growing, come with your seasons, your fullness, your end. Snow and Fire, written by Iraqi poet Fazi Al-Said and translated by Bathani Balnasiri. Here are snowflakes, floating in the air like cotton fluffs, falling off the sky's plantations, ruffled by fingers of the wind, diving down to the ground with cool dribbles, freezing the cold, which, shivering now, carries what has piled up on its back, running around the streets, searching for a refuge, then slowing down, now gasping nearby, cracking its white teeth, howling like a wolf, circling around me. Come, O my final haven. Come, beloved, as the flame inside you is my retreat, for I am a firewood yearning for your spark.
The snow is snowing, the wind is blowing, but I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December, so watch those icicles form. What do I care if icicles form? I got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I got my love to keep me warm. but I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December, so watch those icicles fall. What do I care if icicles fall? I still got my love to keep me warm. So off with my overcoat, my globe. I need no other code. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. The flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I got my love to keep me. I got my love to keep me. I've got my love to keep me warm.
From the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. This is an adaptation by the Reverend M.J. Kaiser. For everything there is a season. Very little is as simple as good or bad. It is more often a question of who, or of when, a why or a how. There are times for the birth of something new. There are times to welcome death. There are times to plant seeds for those to come, and times for harvesting the long labor of others. There are times when destruction is necessary, or at least unavoidable, and there are times when healing is possible. There are times to create art and times to tear it down. There are days when only weeping will do, others for laughing. Some days we can only mourn, others we dance. We ebb and flow our way in community. Sometimes we long to be in the arms of another, other times we need the intimacy of solitude. There are times for seeking a way through the impossible, and other times for accepting our losses. There is a time to hold on and a time to let go. There are times when some of us need to be silent and times when the rest of us must speak. Love has its time and hate has its place. Conflict must be accepted and peace welcomed in due time. May we listen our way into and out of each season with wisdom as our guide, forcing nothing outside of its time, receiving everything for what it is, trusting love's companionship, laboring toward liberation together.
White Eyes, poetry by Mary Oliver. In winter, all the singing is in the tops of the trees, where the wind bird with its white eyes shoves and pushes among the branches. Like any of us, he wants to go to sleep, but he's restless. He has an idea, and slowly it unfolds from under the beating wings as long as he stays awake. But his big, round music, after all, is too breathy to last. So it's over. In the pine crown, he makes his nest. He's done all he can. I don't know the name of this bird. I only imagine his glittering beak tucked in a white wing, while the clouds, which he has summoned from the north, which he has taught to be mild and silent, thicken and begin to fall into the world below, like stars or the feathers of some unimaginable bird that loves us. that is asleep now and silent, that has turned itself into snow.
Caressed the trees tenderly. The trembling trees embraced the breeze tenderly. The shore was kissed by sea and mist tenderly. I can't forget how two hearts met breathlessly. Took my love so tenderly.
When thinking through the words that I might offer this evening, I asked my mom, who's here tonight, what might be a good word to use? It's not a sermon, it's not a message, maybe a reflection or some thoughts. And she sent me a list of jazz terms, including the term rusty gate. I've never heard of a rusty gate. I've seen plenty of rusty gates, but I wasn't sure what it meant in the context of jazz. Maybe some of you who are jazz people are familiar with the term, but for those of you who aren't, a rusty gate is defined as an unfortunate musician who can't play very well. That's me. My talents lie elsewhere. And so here are some words from the rusty gate. Over the past few weeks, I've discovered a new trail near my home, the Thompson Creek Trail, which parallels the foothills in Claremont. My dog, Thistle, whose name is quite fitting for a trail, and I often walk along the trail, which is just over 2 miles each way. The trail meanders through a somewhat residential area of town. Along one side, you can see up into the foothills, and we'll often see bunnies or birds, green grass, and rocky patches. And along the other side is where the homes are, homes on big plots of land, some with goats and donkeys and horses. It's really a beautiful landscape, a place where you can just marvel at creation, where you can smell the trees and the flowers, and you can hear the bees buzzing and experience beauty in every direction. It's uncommon, I think, for many people in different parts of the world to talk about their winter hikes. We're especially blessed living in Southern California to have sunny days where beautiful hikes are not only possible, but also enjoyable without snow. My walks with Thistle have become a spiritual practice of sort, a time where I put my phone down, where I breathe in the fresh air, when I get away from the stack of emails that never seems to go away, and a time where I can just be. In addition to all of the wildlife one can experience on the trail, there's also an abundance of people who are also out and about. Kids on bikes, older folks with canes, solo hikers and baby strollers. People of every different background come out, all maybe with a similar purpose in mind, just being. Each time I've gone out on the trail, I notice something new, maybe a new flower or a new kind of wildlife, a beetle or a stick. But one constant are these stone cairns on the side of the trails. I took the picture that's on the front of your bulletin on a recent hike. But cairns are basically stacks of stones that get smaller as they go up. The origin of cairns are somewhat unclear. In Europe, the history seems to indicate that they were used for burial grounds and probably looked more like giant mounds. In Highland folklore, it's recounted that before the Highland clans fought in a battle, each person would place a stone in the pile. Those who survived the battle removed their stone from the pile, and the remaining stones were built into a cairn to honor the dead. In indigenous traditions in the Americas, cairns were often used to mark game driving lanes. And so it seems that cairns have a long and varied history, but what they're often used for in contemporary contexts is to mark a trail. People will construct them to guide themselves out and back from the wilderness. And a lot of folks construct them for fun and decoration too. And so I kept seeing these cairns along the path, wondering what it might mean for me in my everyday life. As we're reflecting on this winter this evening, the way the seasons manifest in our own lives and spirits, I kept thinking about how the cairns of life might also be there to guide us, the signs and directional poles that invite us along the path. Depending on how you encounter the sacred, this could look different for different people. It could manifest as God, or the spirit of love, or community, or nature itself. When we are most in tune with creation, with the wonder of the world around us, we're able to be guided in directions that manifest the well-being of ourselves and one another and our earth. In fact, it is the very change of the seasons that can guide us in that inherent knowing that things grow and change, that even in winter when all seems dead, that really those seeds are deep in the ground, being nurtured and getting ready for what might be. That as they receive their sustenance to spring forth, we too are getting ready for what will come. As you travel through these winter months, may you too be guided by the cairns of life. May you be pulled into relationships that are harmonious, practices that are holy, and beliefs that affirm all people and all of this sacred creation. May it be so.
we were planning to bring the box of donations forward for this portion of the service. What we didn't expect is that the box is very heavy and overflowing. So thank you for all of that. Gathered here as a community, we seek to be a blessing to all of those around us, that our lives will have a positive impact on the world, that love will ripple outward from our actions, bringing warmth and comfort and joy. We give donations to meet the needs of the world, to ease others' pain, to fill bellies and calm worries. We do not wish to live in a world where anyone goes to bed hungry, or where people must make choices about which of their needs are met this month because there's never enough. We live in a world that has enough for all of us, and yet some live in abundance while others struggle to scrape by. So we gather together to work for something different. We give to be the change that we wish to see in the world. So may the gifts that we've given be a blessing. May they reach all who need them. May those who receive them feel the love, tenderness, and care with which we have given them. May these gifts lift spirits, and may a little more wholeness and peace enter this world through our small acts of care here, shifting the world toward all that is good.
A foggy day in London town had me low and it had me down. I viewed the morning with alarm. The British Museum had lost its charm. How long, I wondered, would this thing last? But the age of miracles hadn't passed, for suddenly I saw you there, and through foggy London town the sun was shining everywhere. a foggy day in London town. It had me low and it had me down. I viewed the morning with alarm. The British Museum had lost its charm. How long, I wonder, would this thing last? But the age of miracles, it hadn't passed, for suddenly I saw you there, and through foggy London town, yes, through foggy London town, through foggy London town, the sun was shining
In this cold time of year, perhaps not cold to folks from other places outside of California, we feel the wind. We welcome rain. We linger in the lengthened nights and the quiet of dark. In winter, we feel particularly strong the breath and blessing and the warmth of fire, the joys of a warm drink, the comfort of our favorite blanket. In winter, something as small as the light of a single candle can remind us to hope. It can remind us of what brings us hope. We may remember through the light of a candle those who held the light for us when we couldn't hold it for ourselves, and the blessing they were to us. In the light of a candle, we remember to let our inner light burn, to share with the world our gifts, that we may be a blessing. We take a moment together to ritualize this simple act of lighting a candle, to notice the power of something so small. So if you choose, you can come forward and light a candle on our table, or you may choose to simply notice the light of the candles and reflect on the blessing of warmth in winter and light in this dark time of year. After we light our candles and reflect, we will also pause for a minute of silence. There are days we think only so much is given. A glint, a gleam, a light so small, we could carry it in the palm of our hand, just enough to let us see the next step, perhaps, into the mystery. There are days grace comes, but in shadow, days it gathers itself into the corners, days it seems to turn its gaze sidelong, as if distracted, or pondering, or paused. Let it be said, this is not that day. This is the day when grace gives out its radiance, declaring itself to everything in sight. This is the day when every given light bears forth like a star, turning its face toward us with the brilliance that was there all along, that it had saved just for us, just for the joy of seeing us shine.
Pennies in a stream, falling leaves of sycamore, moonlight in Vermont. I see finger waves, ski trails on a mountainside, snowlight in Vermont, telegraph cables, they sing down the highway and travel each bend in the road. People who meet in this romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely evening summer breeze, warbling of a meadowlark, moonlight in Vermont. telegraph cables, they sing down the highway and travel each bend in the road. People who meet in this romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely evening summer breeze, warbling of a meadowlark, moonlight in Vermont, you and I in moonlight in Vermont.
Thank you all for being here tonight, for envisioning what this service may become, for dreaming with us a little bit. We want to take just a quick moment to make sure we thank our tech folks upstairs. Thank you. Because of those folks up there, this service was live streamed. Hello to everyone joining us online. And you can watch it in the coming weeks and send it to folks. The wonders of technology. Thank you also to our readers this evening and to our musicians. Thank you so much. We thank you for being here tonight, for joining us in this sacred and holy time. We hope you were enriched and that the sustenance will carry us forward through these winter months. Be sure to watch our social media pages for more information about upcoming services. And now hear these words from John O'Donohue. As light departs to let the earth be one with night, silence deepens the mind and thoughts grow slow. The basket of twilight brims over with colors gathered from within the secret meadows of the day, and offered like blessings to the gathering tenebrae. After the day's frenzy, may the heart grow still, gracious in the thought for all the day brought, surprises that dawn could have never dreamed, the blue silence that came to still the mind, the quiver of the mystery at the edge of a glimpse, the golden echoes of worlds behind voices, tense faces unable to hide what gripped the heart, the abrupt cut of a glance or a word that hurt, the flame of longing that distance darkened, bouquets of memories gathered on the heart's altar, the thorns of absence in the rose of dream. And while the whole world in the unknown of the mind, turning slowly in its secret orbit, may the blessing of sleep bring refreshment and release, and the angel of the moon call the rivers of dream to soften the hardened earth of the outside life, disentangle from the trapped nets of hurt and sorrow, and awaken the young soul for a new tomorrow.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
We'll see you at church.